Hey guys, happy Friday!
What up? Larry is in the house. Hello, Larry.
Yes, hopefully everybody had a good week. We had a great week here. Getting the yard ready for the summer. Waiting for invitations to pools all summer.
Kind of close tonight. Our engineer got caught in traffic.
Yes.
But we made it. It's hot as hell in here. Nobody came out and put the air on. It's like a sauna.
Yes, it's a little bit warm. But no, we're having a good week here, and I'm hoping everybody else out there is having a good week, and hope everything's going well for everybody. I haven't gotten any phone calls, so I guess everybody's doing amazing. The holidays coming up, and it's going to be tough for some people, especially those in early recovery. So, keep your recovery groups close and their phone numbers even closer. This is the kickoff to the summer, so you want to be mindful when you're out at barbecues or activities. You stay close with your
Or Larry,
recovery.
if you're at a church picnic or something,
Yes.
you gotta be.
Make sure that you are staying close to your toolbox and the phone numbers, because it is a very drinking holiday. Everybody's out.
Every holiday's a drinking holiday.
Yes, and it's you just need to be mindful.
Yeah, I wait for a few more viewers, but I heard something really interesting. I gotta get it off my chest today. Marijuana has surpassed alcohol as far as being abused by 16% of the public. Alcohol is being abused by 14%. The first time that marijuana has surpassed alcohol, and in the realms of abuse. It's like, hey, do you see a problem, people, with all this legalization and all this, legalizing and just making nicey nice about it and all, which, I see a problem. We got a large percentage of the population driving around, walking around, under the influence of THC and or alcohol.
Yeah.
We got a whole nation full of tainted people.
Yes, and I'll tell you, and they're driving like it too. It's like it's crazy out there.
I hate talking about it because I feel like an old man saying it, but
No,
I've been a commercial driver for a lot of years, like over 35 years, commercially. Yeah, that's all I do is I gauge people all day long. Having a heavy truck full of freight, and that you you got to try and guess what the other guy's going to do before he even realizes he does it, because you got it's harder for you to stop, and you got to leave bigger gaps between you and the other traffic. So people see that, oh, look at all that wasted space. They got to jump in there and close your gaps. You got to make your gap wider, make your gap wide. They're so aggressive. Like, people just don't take driving seriously. It's like a game. It's like a video game. It's like like constant lane changing.
Yeah.
Especially during like rush hour, man. That's a 35-minute ride for me without traffic down to the airport, where I work outside the airport area. It takes me like an hour and a half every morning to make that 35-minute ride in rush hour. The traffic is so bad, and for like no reason.
It's horrendous. Well, because people think that they're still laying in
Bumper to
bed.
bumper, and they're still making these lane changes, and it's like,
They think they're laying in bed playing PlayStation,
I don't know what they're thinking.
Grand Theft Auto, and they're
it's
professionals.
Scary. It's scary. I mean, I never have so many close calls and have to get on the brakes hard like so much anymore. It's no matter how careful I am.
So I'm not sure who's out there. If you are out there and you have the capability of popping in the comments, like Larry there, hey Larry, feel free to pop in a hello, where you're from, if you're new. Just reach out.
Tell us a little about yourself. Maybe you sing a song, do a little dance.
Yeah, make a little love, get down tonight. But no, reach out. If you are out there, you're listening and you're struggling and you need some support, pop in the comments and let us know what you're struggling with. And we'll share, our experience and our suggestions. Whoever pops in may be able to also, share their experience as well. So feel free to do that. If you don't have the capability, if you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed to the show, then you can give us a call in at 267-737-8031. You can like and subscribe so that you have the capabilities of commenting if you're on your phone or laptop or computer.
Hopefully there's not too much background noise. With the air running, I got this little cute fan here.
He's got cute
A little
fans
USB
wherever
fan.
he
It's nice
goes.
and quiet. Hopefully it's not showing up on the mic too much. But it is sweltering in here.
It is, finally. We have 2 seasons now. It's either winter or it is summer.
Yeah,
There's
we
no
don't-
spring, no fall.
Yeah.
It just is hot or
Right into
cold.
the next one.
I was kind of hoping for, some nice days. But they've been filled with rain. So there's been far and few between the raindrops. And then, of course, we have the weekend coming up, and it's Memorial Day, and they're talking rain. I'm just grateful because the rain that they're talking about for Monday's parade will be in the evening, so we'll be able to get the
Is that what they're
parade.
saying
That's what I heard this
I
afternoon.
got my waterproof system on.
So
See, that's Murphy's Law. I got a new outdoor system. It's water resistant. Very nice. And I just got it the other day, and I don't really come in handy.
yeah,
It's really for doing weddings, ceremonies. 'Cause a lot of times there's an arch out in the middle of the field at the venue, and there's no electricity. And I'm thinking ahead. I invested in some new equipment, got a great deal, and all that, and it won't rain. Done. It's good
Yes.
insurance. Murphy's Law.
so they say.
Murphy's Law.
So they say, and I'm listening to weather people, so it could be pouring, and the parade canceled.
There's thoughts on it. The battery operated speaker, it's not consumer grade like the ones you see at Sample. It's pro grade. It was very expensive originally. But got a great deal, and I'm quite excited.
And I want to shout out to Ryan and his
This new little bundle.
new little bundle that they welcomed into the world. I'm not sure if he listens, but I just wanted to say, hey, congratulations. Can't wait to meet the little bundle. And
Cute fan. Thanks.
not sure what's going on right now. I know Never Surrender Hope had their bingo last Friday. I hope they made out well to be able to help other people that are struggling out there to have a better life, because this is what it's about. It's about that recovery world and living a better life and learning how to live life on life's terms. I always say it because that's what we need to do. But I just wanted to touch base because, congratulations to everybody that's out there that is graduating. It is that time of year. Graduating from 8th grade, graduating from high school, graduating from college. There's just so many changes going on in your life. And we have to be really up with what's going on in their lives. I know that I was very involved in my son's elementary school years. Very involved, so much that he said have another kid so I would leave him alone. But
Helicopter mom.
yeah, and then middle school came and I wasn't as involved, but I was still kind of involved. I did the volunteer thing, but not like I did in elementary school. And then high school came. That was a tough one. And even going into middle school, that was a blended school. But so people that weren't in the same elementary school started blending into the middle schools. And, so you don't know the kids that they're in school with. They start making new friends, and it gets difficult because especially being the helicopter mom that I was, not knowing what they were up to, or I remember the one day, like, where are you at? And I'm at a friend's house. Well, who are they? I don't even know their parents. And
You're like the Arco Go Patrol.
right, it's hard because
Well, and also, I'm just as guilty. We used to volunteer for a lot of things involved in because nobody else would. Nobody else would step up to the plate. I was
Right.
involved with scouts. Next thing you know, we were planning vacations around scouting trips and this and that. Lori was involved with the band, with his band when he was in grade school because nobody else wanted to. It's like, we get involved in these things to step up to the plate because none of the other parents wanted to. They just want to dump their kids off and have a life.
So, with that being said, things start to take a change, and it gets difficult because you don't know the people, you don't know, you don't know the family background or what have you, and you try to get that information, and it's hard because they're looking for their independence and trying to grow and make their choices and make their mistakes, and
They're trying to get away with shit. Come on,
Yes.
let's face it. They're trying to get away with stuff.
right. So just as recovery with people, places, and things, now we're into moving into middle school. You don't know the people, places, and things, and that gets hard. That gets hard, and it gets dangerous, especially if you have somebody that's not real outgoing, that feels kind of depressed, the anxiety, all those little things that we may not even grasp, like a teacher saying, oh, they're always daydreaming, they're always looking out the window or whatever. It may be a little bit more deeper than that. So now,
And teachers got to be careful what they say too now, because everybody is so litigious and crazy, and so they can't say anything that may come off as disparaging or insulting. You know, you can't say, "Well, you know, your child's a little bit of an introvert." What? So you got to come up with cute phrases like everything else, like substance use disorder.
so
Everything must sound nicey nice.
yeah, so these are just little things that, you know, I know I didn't pick up on. I tried to, you know, get the information and see who these people were, and where their families were, and, you know, to try and be present in his life. And, you know, I didn't allow him to make a lot of mistakes, because I was always there to, you know, catch them.
Oil, kiss, and sniff. That's great. Mom had her techniques there.
But
My buddy had a smoking glove. It was a winter glove. He used to smoke cigarettes because his mother would sniff his hands. We used to crack up. And he used to have to hide it in the wall down the corner with a cigarette. It's a smoking glove. It was like the ratty old winter glove.
My dad used to do the sock check to make sure we didn't have a cigarette pack mark on in our sock.
God.
And I'll never forget walking into the house the one day, and I had my, you know, my tube top on with I was so cool. I had my cigarette pack sticking out of it, and not knowing my mom was home from work. Yeah, that wasn't a pleasant experience, getting caught with that. But, you know, we're coming into, like, learning new things, and not knowing really who some of these are in their lives now. So we have to be careful. We don't know families' backgrounds. We don't know what the kids are up to. And I mean, I know when I was a kid, we hung out at the creek, and, you know,
The crick.
We hung out at the creek, and
It's not a creek. It's a crick.
a creek, and we would have fun.
In this area, that's what we call it.
Yeah, and in today's day and age, it's a lot different. It's a lot more different.
When you were in California, I'm sure you called it creek or a
Yes.
small tributary.
Barb, we stole my mom's cigarettes as well. We
Boy, I remember smoking my buddy's mom's Salem in the 40s. Stole a Salem cigarette. Holy smokes!
yeah,
Enough to
it's
make me almost not start smoking.
yeah. So
Better to sell them than to smoke them.
Christine says, "Hi all. When I was a teen, hanging on the corner, my mom would make me come home and walk the dog, but really to give me the oil kiss and sniff." Laugh out loud.
That's why I brought up the glove thing.
Yeah, and you know, and it was different back there than it is today. It's a lot, you know, harder. But knowing that, you know, our kids are meeting new people and not knowing their backgrounds, that's when we have to really, you know, put our feelers on, because the one thing that I know hit me and Pappy at the time was the denial. We were seeing the signs, but we were marking it up as, you know, striking it up as, you know, he works hard, he's tired, blah, 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 blah. So I just...
It was weird. I don't remind, you know, a lot of our friends out there. We have a lot of people that tune in that have like children or loved ones going through, and they have a lot to learn about. That's why we're touching on this kind of thing. But they don't know what to look for, what to expect. I mean, many of them are devastated. They can't believe this has happened on their watch. You know?
Exactly.
Like, oh. So, you know, they blame themselves, of course. You tell them it's nothing you did, it's just something that happened. So.
Yes, and we're looking at a time right now where kids are coming home from college, and they're from they're living on campus. They're not at home now. Summer break's coming, and they're coming home, and these are children that never smoked a cigarette, never drank. They can fall into that
They
trap.
get off to college, now they got a little bit of freedom, and
Yeah, we have to,
sometimes, it just goes, it spirals out of control and spirals fast.
and it does. It really does.
Sometimes it don't. I mean, not everybody,
But a lot of the things we see in meetings is it starts in the middle school. It starts in the high school, but it's really prevalent in college. We're saying.
College, a lot of people think of it like as a rite of passage or sort of this and that, but it's a different playing field now. It's so much more dangerous today than it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Right.
I mean, like, people are dying, man. They're not like just getting sick and getting a stomach pump maybe or something. They're dying and like with not even knowing why. I mean, that nobody knows what the hell we're getting anymore. That's frightening.
Exactly.
And it's like, man, where does it end? How much worse is it going to get? Because it's not getting any better.
No, it's not. It's getting
it's
worse.
Just perpetuating. Like it's beyond belief. I mean, I've lived through so many phases, of how addiction has morphed into other things. I'll be 63 in July. You might not know that, but it's boyish look here. But so I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I mean, I've been around the block. I mean, and it's just I've just seen so many changes in it from my heyday working in the nightclubs and all. In the 80s. There wasn't nobody dying. Unless they got too drunk and got hit by a car or something crossing the street out of the club. I don't know. But like, people are dying left and right, man. There's something wrong.
And we have to remember that, especially if it is something that is, genetic, you have that gene, that addictive gene in your, family, then we need to be mindful of that. We need to make sure that we're, looking for the signs and not ignoring the signs. And I don't mean to scare anybody, and that doesn't specifically mean that it's going to fall in your lap, but it's the end of the school year. Most parents are out there working today. They're not, home with the kids. It's a new way of life. Both parents have to work, and sometimes both parents have to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet. And there's all that freedom after being in school all day. Now they have a full day of, being out there and being, caught up in different ways of life.
And now you got the internet to find out how to do what to do. We didn't have that
How to
then.
make.
I couldn't go to the damn library and find out how to do this, that thing. I mean, yeah, man, everything at your fingertips.
And I was
technology.
I was helping a mom who tried everything in her power to help her child, and came to find out that they were in their bedroom making, I don't even remember what it was that they were making, but right off the internet, here they are, they're making it in their bedroom.
Hey, we were in the bedroom with like my buddy's sister's Easy Bake Oven. We were making like exotic treats.
Yeah.
We weren't cooking crack or nothing like that. Oh my gosh.
No, and this is where we're at today. This is, you can find anything on the internet.
Might have made a hash brown here too, but I would never swear to it. In case I ever run for president, I got to be very careful what I say.
Yeah, so it's just, these are just things that I'd like to point out because, you never know. You send your child off to college, and the biggest thing that you hear is, I don't do that. And they're like, oh, well, come on. No, I got to study for this test. Oh, well, just, this will help you. This will help you stay more focused. And that way you'll free up your time to, come out and have some fun with us. And, they take that first dose and it's just like, wow, not only did I get through my, studying, I now can go out to, the football game, a party,
I'm able to leap tall buildings with a single bound.
Going out to functions which they would have never attended because they were so busy just trying to keep up with their grades and their studying. So next week is here and like, can I have another one? And because I really want to do this. And, so now they're on their second dose and it may be a week out, but then, now it's finals. Now we need to concentrate and get even more. And then, those couple turn into, maybe 2 a week and then 3. And then the next thing their grades are failing even though they're studying like crazy, but their mind just isn't where it should be. And they're losing weight or whatever. These are just little signs that we need to keep aware of when our kids come home from college, because they may not be the person they were when they went to college. And you can't really look at it and be in denial of it. And I'm going to say every parent is. They see it and they pretty much know it, but they, excuse it off. Like, no, not my kid, not, So be mindful of that. Be present with, what they're doing and where they're going, and try and get to know the families that they're getting involved with.
Yeah, addiction doesn't pick and choose its victims. It's an equal opportunity destroyer. Mm-hmm. It goes after the best of people, goes after the worst of people, and everybody in the middle too. It's like it doesn't pick and choose.
Yes.
Or it's like years ago, it was always portrayed, as the drug addicts on Skid Row, in the back alleys, them heroin users. I mean, there was just like this stigma attached, and like a seedy underbelly type community like that. It's mainstream, man. It's mainstream now. Nobody even frowns upon it. It's so socially accepted. Like in my heyday, the heroin users, they were the hardcore people, man. And they kind of stuck to themselves. We didn't have a lot of heroin users that we were aware of in our social circles, so to speak. They kind of kept to themselves, and this, that, and what. Because that was the serious stuff. What we were doing, it was nothing. It was nothing, It's like,
and to put this out there as well, I also know family members that come into the group and share what's going on. The only reason they're there is because they want to visit their child in the rehab, in the treatment center. You have to go and you have to take this test in order to see them, or this class. And and I do see that most times, and it's not all the time, but most times it's the father saying, it's just a phase, it will pass.
Yeah.
That was me, when I was 16, 20. It's just a phase, it'll pass. The phase that they passed was not the drugs of today. Today, it's totally different. You can't just, okay, I've had enough, I'm done. No, you have to get into treatment to get through those withdrawals. Those withdrawals are excruciating, and there's such a fear with that. And the only thing I can say is, talk to your loved one, let them know, yes, it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful as hell. But it's not going to last. It's just temporary. Fight your way through it. Fight your way through that, detox. Sorry, I have a dry throat.
You cough every week we're at her. You do cough all week.
And
think I'm
it's
allergic to
just, yeah, I think it's the dust in here. But,
Place is impeccably clean.
yeah, so it's just, be mindful of these things.
That vape stuff has nowhere to escape to stick.
Yeah.
Well, like antifreeze.
But it's sad because, we still have parents that, feel that. Like, it's just the phase, it'll go. Well, they're not a phase anymore. We are losing an entire generation.
Of thinkers and decision makers.
We are. We're losing an entire generation.
And I know we said it the other week, but I think it's our enemies that are, it's a long-term plan and they're patient.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just saturating this country with fentanyl now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just sitting back and waiting until we have a whole nation full of people addicted to fentanyl.
And I'm
and
still
such.
trying to get some information because apparently there's something new out there in the world of Kensington that's hitting the streets and causing,
Yeah, guys on a scooter shooting people randomly.
yeah,
That was this week.
that was this week. That's every day down there, but you just have to be really mindful of who they're with and what they're doing because it's scary out there today.
The drug market, it's always evolving. I mean, you hear about all that stuff out in Florida coming into that crocodile and this and that. And, on the West Coast, you got your black tar heroin, which I wonder how they're working out with fentanyl now. Mixing fentanyl with shoe polish, I don't know. But
Yep.
it's like there's always new drugs, new concoctions, and this and that. And it's like, but everything now it's getting adulterated with fentanyl.
It is, and it's scary.
Wow.
And I mean, they're putting it in marijuana. They're putting it in anything they possibly
I'm
can.
with, I hate to say things, but I'm going to give somebody the idea that they never have already. I'm waiting for our food supply to start getting tainted with fentanyl.
Shush.
All right, you nefarious people out there didn't hear me say that. But like back during the Tylenol scare and all that, then people were finding needle marks in bananas and this and that. But I mean, fentanyl don't take much. I mean, what do you do? They start tainting the food supply. People would be afraid to eat, afraid to go to the store. I mean, my God, that could be disastrous.
Yeah, it's getting scary out there, and well, it's been scary, but it's really getting scary now. And education is going to be your number one.
You don't think our enemies are working in this food processing plants and this and that? They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Our enemies are all throughout this country. They've been here, and they're just sitting and waiting
Yep, sitting and
for
waiting.
the word. Yeah, I go into some of these factories. It's like the United Nations in there. There are people from all over the world working in these companies. It's like we don't know who's who.
Yep,
There's no background check, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like
we just had that shooting in, where was it? Chester, in a linen company. He got pissed off at somebody, and 2 people that were shot were here on visas or something. Like,
two brothers or something.
it's you don't know who your neighbor is anymore. We used to sit out and, well, we know ours, but we really don't know who's moving in next to us anymore. It's it's the melting pot for sure.
I used to know all my neighbors. Half of them were family. Then they passed away and sold their house. Now I got 3 neighbors I know nothing about.
Exactly. And you know,
Four if I count the one across the street.
you do. It's just, you know, the world is growing so rapidly, and you just and everybody's working now. I know I have a friend now that goes to bingo with us, and she never went to the VFW that we went to, but here during COVID, she met her next door neighbors, or no, across the street. They lived across the street, and with COVID, they would be out doing yard work or whatever, and they finally introduced to each other, and now they've become very good friends. And you know, and that's how it used to be. Like you would be outside, you would be doing things in the summer, you would meet your neighbors, you would talk with them, you would do things together.
Hi,
And
Bob. I have to have my wife make this casserole.
exactly. But it's not like that anymore today. So, you know, we have to be, you know, in their faces and find out who's around us. You know, you may be hiding behind that curtain so that nobody knows that you have this going on in your home, but your neighbor's going to be the first one to notice it, because they're the ones going to see the comings and goings and the sales and, you know, the shifty ongoings with what's going on outside. And, you know, I know many of people as well that have it going on.
Stacy's mom. Who's got it going on.
But they have it going on, and they just don't know where to go with it. They don't know how to approach it. They don't know how to get help for it. I know I was at a loss. I had no idea what to do and how to handle it. I know family members said, "What's going on with him? What is? I don't know. He doesn't live with me. He doesn't talk to me. I don't know what I reach out. I can't find him. I don't know what it is. I know he's smoking marijuana heavily, and you know, here he is. Guess what? New crowd of people. I have no idea who they are, and you know, it's." I can't say it enough. Get in their face. Know what they're doing. Know who they're with.
Yeah, don't assume it's a phase.
Mm-hmm.
Because the drugs today don't allow things to be a phase. They become an addiction.
They hijack your brain, like, immediately. It's not like it takes, you know, a month, a year. It's immediate. It just happens that fast.
And I did say earlier, beginning of the show, in case anybody tuned in, I heard on the radio today, I'm repeating myself, that for the first time ever, marijuana abuse has exceeded alcohol. You know, for people on a daily basis abusing alcohol. It's like 16% of the public abuses marijuana now, as opposed to 14% of the public abusing alcohol like a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like abusing it, like on a daily basis, habitual use.
Right.
What's that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's legalize it.
And the thing is, the rehabs now have, you know, detox for marijuana.
I see people on the sites, the addiction sites I go on, the ones I don't really like, but I like to stay in tune with what's being said on them and all. They're not monitored close enough for my opinion. But I see people and they're like, how can I get off pot?
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop smoking it. I mean, is there anything out there? Is there something I could use? Is there a program now? Like I need help. It's like it's just taken over my life.
Right.
I'm smoking every day. I can't function.
And there's people going into the ER because it's so strong that they're hallucinating.
Yeah, well, that's like with the gummies and such, man.
Yeah.
They're so potent.
It is.
They can't metabolize it fast enough. Like it's like they become paranoid.
And again, and I'll say, COVID, you know, with that all of that isolation, so many companies have not opened back up. they found it more,
Productive?
Productive?
No, they haven't. That's been false.
well,
But now everybody's fighting it because they're trying for health reasons.
right,
They're
well,
trying to get the whole city of Philadelphia to finally come back to work. The new mayor's giving them a deadline. They're freaking out. The unions are pushing against it because people are not as productive at home as you are in the office. You can't tell me you are. That's a bunch of horse hockey.
but they're also saying how much they're saving on overhead and
Well, yeah, you got
running
that. I
the
mean,
buildings,
heating
the
building or
electricity,
renting it.
and all that. So
Right.
now you have all that. So a lot of companies have opted to stay remote, and the alcoholism has become a very heavy issue.
And I go into these companies, you know, I deliver different type mainframe computer systems sometimes to these places. And I gotta take them in and I kinda look around, I'm in there and it's like, all these cubicles are empty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll see like 5 or 6 people in a cubicle and there's 60 cubicles with nobody in them.
And then
How do
they
you float that?
Well, they have it's called the stagger. So you come in Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and you come in Thursdays and Friday. Like
Yeah.
it's a staggered staff, so
I mean,
that
it's a
you don't
huge
have
building, man.
right. Well, they don't, and the people that aren't there are remote at home,
Right.
and that way that you're not putting too many people in one building and spreading, you know, God only knows what
knows?
today.
Leprosy.
Yeah, COVID my ass. And it's so funny because now we're having a new strain coming up. Like, get the
gosh.
hell out of here. Give me a break. You know,
Fear mongering.
yeah. They want us isolated. They want to
People still
control us.
walking around by themselves outside with masks on.
There's people still
Walking around
driving in
outside.
cars with masks by themselves. Come on,
That's all.
people.
I mean, you protect yourself from yourself.
I don't
Are you
know.
laundering that mask every day? Doubtful.
Doubtful.
So anything you've sucked up and stuck on that mask, it's going to get you.
Yep. So, but I mean,
False sense of security.
if anybody has anything to add to that, like their experience when they went away to school or, you know, became friends with people that the family didn't know, share it with us because, you know, it's important that we get this.
And you know,
help
and
out
sometimes the person that's introducing you to these things is a very smart person, someone you may admire or trust because of their popularity or how smart they are and what they do. I mean, it don't necessarily have to be a stupid person that's introducing you or your child or whatever to drugs.
Yep.
I mean, that's the funny part. That could be the valedictorian of the school, you know, like. The one that's planning a medical career, you know, it's like I said, addiction doesn't pick and choose. I mean,
It doesn't.
we got doctors in recovery, nurses in recovery, surgeons, I know.
Police,
Custodian.
fire. It doesn't matter. It touches
Butchers,
everybody.
bakers. I haven't heard of any candlestick makers,
No.
but that's not a big business for
No
candlestick
Indian
makers.
chiefs.
Not a lot of candlestick makers anymore.
But I know that is a high, and in these reservations.
Well, alcoholism runs rampant on the Indian reservations.
Yes.
That's a really big problem, and it's been like that for a while.
Yeah. And you know, we have to be mindful. We need to be careful of what's going on, and you know, how we need to talk to our loved ones about, you know, what can happen. And again, I go back to, you can talk to your blue in the face, and the one thing that I say, be very adamant about, is it won't happen to me. I'm smarter than that. And
And if you're blue in the face, there's a chance you might need Narcan. And that's a sign of fentanyl overdose.
And you know, and that's another thing that we like to touch base with, because just because they're doing meth versus an opiate, they can still overdose if it's been tainted with fentanyl or carfentanil. So you need to keep on hand the Narcan. And if you have a loved one that is struggling with substance use, especially if it's an opiate, you need to have this on hand. It is so important.
You're gonna put it in the house, hide it in the house, whatever you're gonna do.
Yes.
If you hide it, nobody else will be able to find it, but
Right. But
you
if
really put it in plain sight. Everybody in the house should be trained on how to use it.
yes.
God forbid it has to be done. It's an amazing drug for reversing opiate overdoses. I've done several myself. I've witnessed many. It's amazing how it could take you right from death's door and bring you back to life. I mean, it's not a dangerous drug to have around the house. It won't affect anyone. If any of us could do it, it would have no effect on us. It's not poisonous or anything. It's just one thing it targets, and that's opiates, and it just pushes the opiates off the receptors in the brain and allow the brain to function, without suppressing, your respiratory system and all, which fentanyl does. I mean, you just lose the desire to breathe. There's no struggling. There's no thrashing, nothing. You just stop breathing, it turns blue, and you die.
But again, we have to be mindful that even if it's, a benzo that they're using, we still need to be mindful because they're pressing pills and selling them on the street and they're lacing them with everything. And, that could be, the family sitting there like, well, we don't have to worry about that because, they're not doing opiates.
I don't remember if your family member is using benzodiazepines or alcohol and are using a lot of it. You got to remember they can't stop cold turkey. If they're like truly, really that addicted, to the alcohol. And all. It's very dangerous to stop alcohol or benzodiazepines like Xanax and stuff, cold turkey. You got to wean them off because it could cause seizures and this and that. Not so much, but heroin and fentanyl. That you feel like you're dying. It's horrible feeling, but you're less likely not to, as long as you stay hydrated. But you feel like hell.
Yeah.
So these are like some of the things we put out there that parents don't know.
Right.
With education, man, we can have a chance at a shot at controlling this and saving our loved ones. But so many people, they don't know. We didn't know all this stuff when we found out our son, had an addiction to heroin and alcohol. We were blindsided. I mean, I knew not about opiates. Nothing. And I thought I knew about alcohol. I grew up in a family of alcoholics. But I really didn't understand addiction at all. And what I did find out is that most of the things I thought about addiction and alcohol were all flawed. They're more opinion-based than fact. So, over the last 8 years, 9 years, what was it now? I learned a lot. Come a long way, and I have a better understanding, a better grasp on the world around me and what people are, engaging in. And I feel much better knowing all that now. Understanding why these things happen helps me wrap my head around why they're happening. Because, especially with your own loved one, I think you beat yourself up. I mean, did we do too much freedom? Were we too hard on them? Were we too this? Were we too that? No, it had nothing to do with what you did. It's just something that happens. And you got to educate yourself on how to deal with it. Don't take the advice from your girlfriend. Go where people know what the hell they're talking about. Find a meeting, talk to a doctor. Or people are just going to feed you a bunch of horse shit that's usually like 99% wrong. Like I said, it's usually all opinion-based and not fact-based.
Right.
But yet they all think they're experts. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. It's dangerous stuff now to go listen to someone that's not qualified to give you advice.
Right.
I mean, it's dangerous.
I just want to share with everybody too, education and support are the most important things when you have a loved one that is struggling with substance use disorder. There are several different meetings out there. There's so many support groups out there. Check with your local drug, alcohol commission. that's what it's called here. If you're in another state, it might be called something different, but just
But
look
don't
up.
be shy. You reach out. You gotta be bold in it. You gotta attack the bull by the horns.
Just look up addiction or rehabs, substance
There's
rehabs.
meetings are all around you. You'll be shocked at how much it goes on around you on a daily basis.
Yes.
It's all around us.
And there's so many different types of meetings, so find as many as you can. And that, like Al-Anon and Nar-Anon, they say, come back at least 6 times, because every week it's something different. Find the meeting that resonates with you, that you feel are getting the most support and the most help, and stick with it. Visit other groups, because not every group is structured.
Right, and that counts for you and your loved one. Right? They're gonna shop around to a meeting that they're comfortable in.
And for
that they can
those
relate to.
that are listening in the background and attend the
And we know who you are. No, actually we don't.
and that attend the Living Grins Family Support Group every other Wednesday. This past Wednesday it was the family education. Next Wednesday coming up will be the family support group, and they changed the time to 6:30. So
And we're gonna have somebody from Gammon on this week,
coming.
which is a Gamblers Anonymous type program, but more for the families of the gambler.
Right.
That's not as opposed to the gambler themselves. They tell you what to look out for, how to deal with this and that. It's very interesting, and you don't realize what a big problem gambling is now, for several reasons. I mean, technology, big one. I mean, your phone, you pick up your phone and place a bet. Since the pandemic, gambling is skyrocketing. People are bored or sit home or what's that. It's so easy, and then you get the excitement, then the adrenaline starts pumping. Like, wow, boy, this feels great. Like, you don't even realize it. And it's the same thing like doing a drug. It gets, your dopamine levels raising in your brain, and you start feeling euphoric. Whether you're winning or losing, it's just the act itself of gambling.
Eric is in the house. Hey, Eric, come out here and fix my ice maker and my refrigerator, please. And also another support group out there, it's the Southern Bucks Recovery Community Center. They are also called ProAct, and they are at 1286 Veterans Highway, Bristol, PA 19007. Just look up the Southern Bucks Recovery Community Center. They have family support. They have recovery support. It's a community center, and they will give you information and help you with so many resources. They have their family support meetings on Thursday nights from, I think, 6:30 it is. But check them out if you're in Lower Bucks County. Support is so important, and they do a Smart Recovery program through the Southern Bucks Recovery Community Center, and I love Smart Recovery. It is for the loved ones, the family, the friends, and it is also for those that are in recovery. And this is a community center where you can go out and get help with different meetings yourself, whether you are a person that is in recovery, whether you are a family member with somebody that is struggling. But they can also help you with, help the person that is in early recovery, look for work. They have different meetings throughout the day and different types of meetings. They have activities for those that are in the recovery process. And they also have like family nights for the kids. When I first started getting involved in this, I went through to a couple organizations, and watching the kids see their families, their parents, their siblings doing well and pitching in to help set up different events and different things. I always thought, that is just so sad. They're always, working towards setting something up so that their parents can stay involved or whatever. And there wasn't much out there for the kids that were suffering from the parents' choices. And the Southern Bucks Community Recovery Center, they will have family nights, and they do have different events that come up that the kids can go out and have fun with. They'll set up games, they'll set up, volleyball or what have you, so that the kids can actually come out and have fun and not have to help set up or whatever. And be there with their parents and have fun with their parents, which, doesn't happen a lot when you are in the throes of your addiction, or even in your recovery. You may be struggling with the fact that you don't have custody of your children at this time. And, sometimes they get to come to these events and be with their parents to help them build back a relationship with their children and get involved with their life. So, check out wherever it is in your community. Call a rehab and see what places are out there that offer assistance to those in early recovery and family recovery as well.
But you got to reach out to them, and it ain't like they're going to come to you. You reach out to them, and they will be more than glad to point you in the right direction and give you contacts and this and that. That's what the whole recovery community is about. I mean, they're very helpful people all around.
Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind, that, this is where we're at. This is what we need on both ends of this disease. It's not just about our loved one that is having issues with or struggling with their addiction. It's about all of the families, everybody involved. So if you were out there and you're new, you're just popping in here, and you do have the ability to pop into the comments, we would love to just get a hello and let us know where you're from, and even share some of your story with us. That would be awesome as well. So pop it in there. I'm hoping everybody has, plans with the family, with the Memorial Day weekend coming up. We tend to, forget why we're celebrating the Memorial Day. We just think it's the first start of, the summer season, and, it's people that sacrifice their lives for our freedoms out there, and
so that we can have the freedom to have
that we're
celebrations
losing.
Such as that. I mean,
we're losing every day, and this is the day on Monday that we remember those that sacrificed their family and their life for our freedoms.
well, in a lot of countries you can't have any public displays of celebration or anything right now. It's a very dangerous world we're living in. The world has become very unstable and very dangerous, and it's frightening.
Yep.
It really is. I've never seen such instability in the world. I've never seen such division in the United States.
Yes.
I can't wait till this election is over, no matter who wins, not to talk about, but just to be done with the division in this nation. And I don't even think even that's going to help.
No. 'Cause
like
it's still gonna be-
we become so divisive
Yeah.
and pitted against each other. Mm-hmm. Like I always said, it's right in our preamble there or whatever, you know, united we stand, divided we fall.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, are we divided more than ever.
Yeah. And you know, as sad as this was, 9/11 brought us all together.
It did.
We were so together. There were flags everywhere. There were people, you know, helping neighbors. It was such a sad, upsetting event.
But it was very sobering and
Right.
showing how vulnerable we are. Whoever thought something like that could have happened in the United States? We're like the safest place on earth.
Right. And here we are.
And look at that, man. That day, you know, the day that'll live in infamy. You know, that's our JFK of people our age. You know, we'll all remember where we were when we heard about the events of that day. I mean, like just like people a little older than me remember where they were when I heard about JFK's assassination. You know? But oh my God, I remember that day, 9/11, so vividly. Driving in my truck, going, what? How the hell did a plane hit the World Trade Center? And they made it sound like a small plane at first. I'm like, you see it, you just steer the hell out of the way, you know? Like, how did they hit it? I'm like, besides, this is bizarre. It's just they said right, man. Like, shortly after, they said a second one. I said, Paul, that sealed the deal for me, man. We're under attack. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't need the radio to tell me what was going on. I mean, oh, wow, what a coincidence, you know? Like, oh, with the radar down, 2 planes, that they're like, I mean, that's the day we realized, you know, the reality of how dangerous times we're in. I mean, we all lived in this world of false security, thinking, you know, that shit don't happen here. You know, it does now. And I'll tell you, you want to talk about third world countries, you go down in the Kensington section of Philadelphia, parts of San Francisco, it's like you walked into a third world country. You can't believe that you're in the United States. The conditions people are living in and what's allowed to just run rampant and go. Like, is there any, it's like Mad Max, is there any governing going on down there? Any policing? How did it get like this? It didn't happen overnight. I mean, you know, like Kensington, I got a lot of experience down there. I spent a few years down there helping people doing, you know, outreach and all, but the things I saw, man, it's like incredible that it's going on, but so close to you, you know, to where I live. I mean, it's not that far of a drive, and it like I said, like a third world country, and all kinds of things like this are starting to happen. You're welcome, Larry, very much. You know, there's a lot of vets out there, and they go unrecognized anymore. You know, a lot of the older ones don't even like to talk about it from like you know, they're still alive from like World War II, and the guys from Vietnam don't like to talk about it. It's not something to talk about. And you don't hear many of the guys talking about like Desert Storm and all the first. You don't see a lot of young guys joining the VFW anymore. It's kind of mostly older guys and a lot of social members. You know, not a lot of vets. But it's one of them things. I mean, we're in dangerous times now. It's like our military size has really been depleted, and now we're like we're looking so vulnerable on the world's, you know, stage. I find that frightening, you know. And I tell you, I attribute a lot of it to fentanyl and the drug use. I mean, I honestly feel like it's an attack on us from within, from our adversaries. And they're culling the herd, they're weakening us, you know, along with other tactics and all. It's like they become so powerful they could strangle us, you know, financially. They cut off our food supply. Our adversaries have become so strong and so much more dangerous, where they don't have to drop a bomb on us or this or that. They have so many other avenues to take down. We allow it to happen. I mean, and most everyday American out there, they don't realize how vulnerable we are right now. I'm not one of these fatalists, one of these tinfoil hat guys and this and that and the other. I just look at things how they are. And it's right there, the writing's on the wall. And the media and the government, they're not going to say too much like that, but they don't want to cause a panic. And the American people can't take shit like that. I mean, they would be panicked, they would be devastated. I mean, imagine like a bomb landed in somewhere in Philadelphia. Jesus Christ. People would go to pieces. They were like, this I would, because but like, I meet people every day in these other countries. I mean, it's like a daily event. There's a siren, let's all run down into the shelter. I remember as a kid, the air raids in school. We were waiting for, the atomic bomb to be dropped on it. There was always drills. I mean, pulling the shades down, hiding under your desk and all. I mean, I remember all that, man. And we really didn't understand what it was all about. It's just something we did, Hey, we all made fun. Got out of class and something about it. Yeah, I sit back and think what they were grooming us for. Like, holy mackerel. Not enough about me talking about all my concerns in the world.
And I just have a message, and I should have really changed my shirt in there, because
you get that big spaghetti stain on it.
No, it don't. But it doesn't look like I'm wearing one. And
oh, you look at that! Yeah, I'm noticing that now around the sides of the.
Yeah.
Laura just,
all my fat
Laura
around
just
my.
stood up off the sofa like, what's going on there?
So, somebody sent a text that I agree with. This is becoming a very scary world. Having to talk to teenagers about just smoking a joint with their friends could actually kill you. I am now dealing with my pain, and I'm just trying to leave out some things because I don't know if she would want to be she's dealing with back pain again, and the doctors are trying everything to help me without prescribing narco right off the bat. I am actually getting relief from physical therapy and doing what they say. And just glad that I was able to turn our situation into, being able to help other people. So thank you.
And always remember, opioids don't cure the problem. They only mask it. It tricks the brain on how the brain perceives the pain you're experiencing.
Right.
It's not doing anything about the underlying issue that's causing the pain.
Right.
Always remember that. I mean, we're like the physical therapy is addressing the pain without the quick fix.
Right.
But just to get you by. So you're actually doing something positive to address the issue. I mean, I never really realized how the painkillers worked. I started doing this. I mean, they're not stopping the pain. All it does is just tricks your brain on how it perceives the pain.
Exactly.
The pain's still there. The problem's still there.
And I know when I was first diagnosed with the fibromyalgia, that's the only thing they did. They had pill, and you're in such excruciating pain that you just, it's your doctor. Your doctor's telling you this is what's going to help you. And when you sit there for 3 months and you just feel like a bowl full of Jell-O, you have to start researching different avenues of help and relief.
And people don't realize, like, OxyContin and oxycodone were originally devised for hospice patients, cancer patients, right after surgery, like major surgery, to get you over the hump for a couple days till the body starts healing itself. For battlefield injuries, or like horrific car accidents and stuff like that. That's what it was originally devised for. And then all of a sudden, it became so overprescribed and pushed. People are taking it for everything, and they're getting hooked on this OxyContin and oxycodone for 20 years or more. I had it happen in my own family. yeah, it's unbelievable how like a drug that serious and engineered for such serious things became cavalierly prescribed for everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a sprained ankle? Okay, and it's been bothering you for a month, huh? Well, instead of going to physical therapy or looking to see if something's torn, take some of these.
Or
take some of these Percocets.
Or how about just taking a Motrin? Like that, you know,
Yeah, but
that's
I don't know. You take a couple Percocets. Hey, I don't feel shit. Yeah, I used to call them nickname them Workocets. You know, contractors and blue collar guys were taking them to stay on the job, keep working. You can't sit home
and I
and nurse a torn this or that. I
Right.
mean,
and then you think back like when you would like, oh man, I hurt my leg so bad. The doctor gave me the good stuff. Like, you know, how our thoughts are with all of that stuff. And now when I hear that, I just cringe. I cringe so bad.
and these type of injuries end up healing over, scar tissue, this and that, and the problem's still there. Now it's even harder to treat. And here you are, 10 years later, it's still bothering you. You got to go off the medication because it's causing problems for you. You know, it's affecting your liver or this and that. So now you are in this pain again because you never did anything to address the root cause of the pain. And now it's harder to treat because like the body healed over and it protects itself from things like with back injuries and all. I mean, it hardens up around there and it tries to shift. Now you start walking different. Now your hips bother you because you didn't treat the back injury 10 years ago. So now your hips, you're walking funny. Now your socket's wearing out in your hip because you're in favor and walking funny. I mean, it's all because we've been masking the root cause of the problem, and eventually
Exactly.
it catches up with us.
Exactly. And I'm so grateful that, you know, I was able to find pages on Facebook that dealt with fibromyalgia, dealt with my other many ailments, that I was able to find alternatives to help me through, you know, the pain that I do suffer. And I'm not going to say that I can get out of bed every day and not want to just crawl back into bed and cry, but I find other ways to deal with the pain and other solutions. I'm finding a great deal of help with oils, essential oils, and that's what I'm going to stick with. I have the same amount of pain as I would on an opiate, but you know, I'm living a life outside of that. I'm not going to allow this illness to hold me down.
The leeches were freaking me out a little bit. I had to put it
No.
down for the leeches.
I
I
don't-
found one on my face one morning.
Yeah, no.
What is that?
Yeah, leeches will never
Yeah, the leeches
touch this
weren't
body.
good, and the snake venom and
No snake venom. But, you know, you have to find what works for you. You know, not everything works the same for everybody. So,
like meetings.
exactly.
Try different therapeutic type things and find something that your body responds to.
Yep, you have
Instead
to.
of just, pop that, it's all good. And everybody just, they don't really, my own grandmother was taking her nerve pills.
Nerve pills, blood pressure pills.
She-
If they pissed her off, she would just take
pop it
3.
out, and she got upset or something, pissed her off. I'll take one of my
Yeah.
nerve pills. And all.
Oh my God, they called me and 3
You know, her
pills.
blood
Like,
pressure's dropping down, and I'm like, she's got all these nerve
Yeah.
pills.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why, and that's another thing. There are some situations in your life that you do need an opiate to get you through some severe issues. I know a person that is in recovery that had heart disease and had to have some major surgery done.
Where an opiate had to be administered
Right.
under a doctor's care, and you let them know ahead of time, and certain protocols are put in place and monitored, and they're fine.
Right. And their sponsor's aware and they follow them through. They, you know, it's so important that you're upfront, you're honest, and you get your support to walk along with you.
But on the same token, you don't always need that opiate where you could get away with the Tylenol.
Right.
and get rid of the inflammation and fuck it all, and you'll be fine. People get a tooth pulled. Oh yeah, I gotta get the Vicodin. No, you don't.
Yeah.
I had a wisdom tooth pulled. I didn't know Vicodin,
And
and I was fine. I took
Right.
Tylenol, a little discomfort for a day or so, and I was fine.
so you use it as prescribed when you have to use it, and when you get major surgery, you may need that. And because if you're not masking the pain, it can cause more issues.
This is a discussion you have to have with your doctor up front.
You have to be
Make sure it's
open.
boldly put on your charts. Boldly, don't just assume that everybody knows. That's not the case. Be vigilant and ask questions. I just want to remind you, tell your nurse that I cannot take opiates because they're just so fast to bring one out. Like, and miss it on your chart. We've seen it happen.
Yes,
with our
my
loved ones.
my son's girlfriend, she gave birth. She did it all natural. I mean, a lot of women do it. It's not like, but it's important that we. Okay, I'm.
Hello, Ma. Well, I don't know about that, but you're talking right up my alley. Everything that you're talking about is exactly what happened to me. Identical to the T. Degenerative disc disease in my back. Just kept sticking needles in me and giving me pain pills for like 6 years. And never addressed the issue, problem, you know, just masked it. And then I finally got the problem taken care of. Got L4, L5 fixed. Didn't have the pain in my back, but guess what? I had the pain in my soul from being addicted to them damn painkillers now. And yep, I mean, that was the worst pain than the pain in my back coming off of them damn things. And the only way I knew to take care of it was to take a couple more because I didn't want to be sick. And I knew if I took some, I'd be okay. That went on for 8 years. Yeah. It just took control of me. You know, I didn't drink. I was an alcoholic, knew I couldn't drink, but I went from taking them as prescribed to becoming immune to them because they just didn't work when I was in pain. They didn't work, so I would take more. You know, what do? You take more. Right. So then it's time to go get them on the street and, you know, you do what you got to do. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. And in fact, I tried to do it myself. Yeah, right before they went into, they got the new thing with all the pharmacies, how they're all connected now in the state. I don't know if it's that way in PA, but I know it is in Ohio. Every single pharmacy is connected, and if you buy a pill at one pharmacy and try and buy another pill at another pharmacy, they know. Red flag goes up. Yep. Yeah. And well, and part of the problem was the fact that you could go to a foot doctor and say your heel hurt, and they'd give you 20 Vicodins. Yeah. Yeah. You know, here's 20 Vicodin. Take these and call me next month. Well, I'll go back next month and get 20 Vicodin from them. I can imagine. Yeah. the practitioner. They're cutting you off. Relief. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, how about the fact? Listen to this one. The doctor that put me on the painkillers and kept sticking needles in my back. All these different procedures. I could name 10 of them right off the top of my head. I laid on the table, let them stick needles in me. Anyways, 2 years after or 3 years after I got clean, got off everything, he opened up a recovery clinic for people that are suffering from addiction. Same people he got addicted to pills. Now he's making money off of trying to get them clean. Yeah, isn't that bullshit? I'm still pissed about that. Primary care physician. They changed their whole thing. Here you're left hanging. Yeah. That's not cool. Well, there you go. At least the engineer has enough sense to fix it.
Yeah. So I guess, can you hear us now, Lar?
Did she click on something?
I'll keep talking, so we'll see if he
Well, he
can
must
hear
have
just
clicked
me.
on something when she was trying to answer your call.
Yeah. So we should be good now. Hopefully you can hear both of us talking. But
Yeah, but I ended up having to go to a 30-day rehab detox and get off of that shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
lucky enough because when I was like, screw this, I am not going to deal with this shit anymore. I'm not going to live my life like this. And I just stopped it. And I just felt so sick. I had
I
no
wasn't
I,
strong enough.
I had no idea what it was. And I went to my store, the store that I get my prescriptions, and thank God my pharmacist is also a friend. She's like, how you feeling? And I said, I feel like crap. And she's like, why? Did they change your prescriptions? And I said, no. She said, well, what's going on? I said, I feel like I have the flu. Like, and it's June. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And she said, well, you can't just stop this stuff. This is stuff that you have to wean off of. So she told me to get back on everything, and she weaned me down off of it. And
Yeah.
Larry could hear us now.
That's the proper way to do it.
Yeah, so I mean, and like I said, I don't have the addictive brain. I didn't have to go as far as detoxing and rehab.
Yeah, see, I have the addictive brain.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
you know, so it was easy for me where other people, and I was only 3 months into this, and you know, where other
And
people.
I was so let down and pissed off with myself that I let that happen to me
And
because, you know, I was under the impression that if I was prescribed it and I was taking it as prescribed at first, you know, with my sponsor telling me, let somebody else give it to you, okay, blah, 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 blah. That was fine for a year and a half, 2 years or something like that. But
right,
like I said, they just kept switching medicines and injecting into me,
exactly.
giving me the same pain pills. And when I didn't take the pain pills because they were ineffective now, I had to get some somewhere,
Right, exactly.
you know?
Exactly. And that's what's
And
happening.
that made me even feel worse.
Yeah,
I felt more of a schmuck.
yeah.
I'm going
And-
to meetings and I'm addicted to the Vicodins.
Right. And
know?
and it's sad because that's where we're at today. Like, you know,
You're doing everything right, and then that's got to happen. It's like it's so now everybody's feet are held to the fire because it was allowed to go
Look, I have a
unchecked for
shirt
all
on.
them years. You know, and
Yeah.
you know, everybody's there. Oh my God! Oh, the big pharma. It's like been going on for years. Like it got so bad it just couldn't be ignored anymore.
right. And if anybody
Right.
out there has HBO Max, I think it is. Oh my God, what's the name of this movie? But the Big Pharma movie. It's like the documentary. It is unbelievable. It's the crime of the century, I think it's called.
Oh, these hyped up meetings.
Oh, I could see it.
Make them sell,
I
sell,
lived it.
sell. You know. You
Yeah.
would think they were vacuum cleaner salesmen or something
Yeah.
out there. The hype and the pump and circumstance and like they were
Yeah.
like these.
Right.
the-
You
the-
see all these drug companies paying fines. Pharma gets fined $5 million for this and that. Where's my cut?
And
I
where
was in it. I
ex-
was a live part of it.
exactly.
Right,
And
exactly.
where is this money going?
Right. Exactly.
It's
you
not-
know,
What are they
in all these
doing with it?
cities and this and that. You know.
Yeah. And they're saying that now the government's like, it's 12-step programs are much too expensive. From now on, we're going to do methadone. Well, guess what? Guess you're still getting a kickback from the methadone. The
Oh,
ones
yeah.
that lost all the money off of the opiates. So,
Medicare is the biggest payee of methadone. Medicare, government funded.
Yep. Yep. And it's sad.
Well-known fact.
Yep, it's sad. That's where
It's
we're
just
at
a
today.
revolving door for monetary gain.
Yep. And you know, when you go to these clinics, they're not weaning you down, and that just disturbs
Yeah, they don't put
me.
you on a taper on methadone. I mean, if you don't say something, you'll be on
They
methadone the
don't
rest of your
educate
life.
people good enough on
You'll
this
be on
stuff
methadone
either.
the rest of your life. Oh yeah, there's
No.
no follow-up meetings or counseling or anything. Just
Yeah.
come in and get you, and then you get your take-homes if you're a good boy or
Granted,
girl.
it keeps you off your DOC.
Exactly.
You know, it will keep you away from your DOC, but
Exactly.
you're still, unfortunately, have a crutch under yourself.
Right.
It's
I
still
mean,
a narcotic. It's still a drug.
Right. And for those
Yeah.
It's just
unfamiliar,
one that allows you to function
Right.
a little more, but you're just trading one drug for
Yeah.
another.
and for those out
I've,
there,
I've known people that have been on methadone for 40 years.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
definitely. I've heard that many times.
and they don't realize that it eats away at their bones,
bones, it's-
their nerve damage. It's
Yeah.
not a good drug for people that, you know,
They swear by it.
yeah.
You know,
Sure they do,
swear
because it's
by
the
it.
easiest thing to do. You
Yeah.
just take another drug.
It's
and
the
then,
cheapest
Now I'm
thing.
able to work and do this and that, but for the rest of my life, I got to take this methadone, which is an opiate.
Right. It's the cheapest thing to do.
Basically, yeah.
But and for anybody out there that is unfamiliar with the abbreviations, DOC is drug of choice. You know, and
I
that's
probably should have said that.
well, you're good because you know this is education. Like people don't understand
Right.
that either. Like they say, oh, first you're going to go to rehab treatment, and then you're going to go to GOP.
Yeah, see, my intention when I did it was to go to detox and come home.
Right.
As everybody
Well,
says.
guess what?
Not so easy.
Now,
Didn't work that way.
now are you a one and doneer, or have you been to several?
No, I was a one and done.
One and doneer, and there's only handfuls out there.
Because he's
Yeah,
already went
I
through
went through.
addiction with the alcohol, so he knew what had
Yeah.
to be done. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's and it's
But of course, I wanted to fight it.
right.
You know, I just wanted to feel better, and I didn't need any of that other bullshit.
Right.
I was
And
too smart for that.
right. Exactly. There you go. And that's it. When they first started cracking down on all that, we had a lot of people coming into our
you
meetings.
got a band coming in?
We had a lot of people coming into our meetings that were there because of car accidents or a sports injury that was there
Mhm.
just for pain meds. And going into all of that, there they
Oh,
go.
it's a horrible withdrawal.
It is.
I mean, I guess I've never done H, but I guess it's the same.
It's an opiate.
Coming off of H.
It's an opiate.
Yeah,
It's exactly what it is. It's an
You're
opiate.
achy. It feels
I
like a
can't-
bad case of the
I couldn't
flu.
tell you how many times I came off and swore I was never going to do them again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was just something in my addictive brain triggered me that one ain't going to bother me.
Right.
One ain't going to hurt.
Once
Just like with alcohol.
exactly.
I've been lucky enough to, like, the mercy of God that I haven't picked up, and I didn't pick up alcohol the whole time I was addicted to opiates.
Right. Now, do you?
I was sick.
Yeah. And do you have addiction that runs in your family? Like
Oh, yeah.
a genetic thing?
Deep-rooted alcohol addiction.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I don't know about there being any opiate added
Mm-hmm.
to my genetics. but
Right, but it doesn't
I know-
matter. A
I
substance
know on
is
both sides of my one was Norwegian and the other one was Irish. So
Oh, the
those
Irish.
Irish. They're
Screwed.
not alcoholics.
Yeah,
They're Irish.
yeah. I always said I was a member of the CIA. I was a Catholic, I was Irish, and I was alcoholic.
There you go.
Yep.
There we go. What a combination.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
it is 10:31, and we are going to be heading
I
out.
hope Larry heard. I heard people heard our conversation at least. Maybe.
Yes,
They heard
did.
yours.
Oh, yeah, they heard you. Yes,
They heard the
didn't-
second half. We're back
They're
on here.
tired of hearing me.
Oh, they didn't hear you. Put some clothes on, woman.
Yeah, really. What is this?
I do. I have a shirt on it. I
I
didn't.
wouldn't wear that shirt
Nah,
again.
don't
I
want-
wasn't
nah, come
thinking.
on,
They're gonna- they're gonna
you're
stricken
hiding
it.
behind the screen.
I just.
You gotta change the rating.
Friggin'
now.
YouTube's gonna censor this.
I need it that way so I
I'm
can
telling
hold
you,
my
it'll be a
fat.
big block.
I'm just
Big
hiding my
square,
fat behind
black
here.
square.
Oh my gosh.
My iPad's dead. It's not even on. I'm just hiding my fat.
Good thing you switched sides.
Yes. Yes.
All
I'm
right,
so
well,
glad
I
that
love
you
you
called
guys.
in, and I wish you would call in more because you and Larry have so much to add and share with us. I wish you could come out here and be on
Yeah.
the show, but we know you can't. But
Just as good.
I would love to do that.
I would love for you
I
to
would
do
love
that.
to do
We
that.
have to figure out how to get you on the screen with us.
I'd even do a mini series with y'all.
There you go.
I can wear different clothes
There
too.
you go.
Different voice, talk different voices.
Yeah, that would be you.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Your tin can phone.
You have like your twin brother, like the Patty Duke show. You can make pretend have you got a
Eric has
twin.
left the room, but entering now is Paul. Paul was an alcoholic in 1961.
All right,
Hey,
kid.
Eric's back.
My boy's got to get to bed. He was up late last night, so.
I got a new puppy.
I know. I saw. I love
See ya.
it. I love it.
She's laying in my lap. I'm in puppy training again.
There you
Too
go.
old for puppy training.
There you go. And how's Banner dealing with it?
Oh, he's great. He's
Oh, good.
been a great kid, brother.
Good. Good.
Yep. They have a common toy that she tries to hang on to, and he spins her around and flings her through the air like a helicopter.
Yeah, that's how ours was.
Literally.
Oh my God.
All right,
Poor
guy. You have
All right.
a wonderful weekend. And everybody out there, God bless you all if you've served. And remember that, this holiday is about those who sacrificed their lives for us.
You get a chance to think of that.
Yeah,
Yes. Always.
I thought of one thing. You were mentioning about how 911 was our day of infamy.
Uh-huh.
Remember how bad Pearl Harbor was?
That was the day to live it in for me.
When we were
Yeah.
attacked by Japan.
Right.
Yep.
That was the phrase attached to that.
The United States gathered together and became unified the same way we did after 9/11.
Exactly. And it's sad that we have to wait for something like that to happen to pull us all together.
Why do we have to have division to be united?
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I guess that's just the way it's been the whole eternity.
Right. I guess. It's crazy.
You know? All right, guys. Good night. Love
All
you
right. Love you.
All right,
Take
Eric,
care.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes.
both. I'm ecstatic.
Mammostatic, baby.
Woohoo.
Good night.
All right, gang. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight.
Yes. Everybody have a safe and a fun Memorial Day weekend. Remember, thank a vet. Shake their hand and thank them.
And remember, recovery works if you're working.
Peace out, everybody.
We'll see you all next
No,
week.
we won't. We won't be here next week or
Alright.
the 7th. The next 2 weeks we will be not here. So,
I think we have a recital or something.
yes, Jackson's recital. But when we return, we will have a guest and first-time guest. And boy, does she have a story to share, and she's very inspirational too in her recovery process. So everybody, peace out. Have a safe week.
Thanks for tuning in, gang. Have a safe holiday. Good night now.
Good night.